This is a piece of poplar that I had from a fallen tree. It's been, I cut up several slices of it, and I'm going to make a project out of it. The first thing I want to do is, the shape of it has changed through drying, and this is no longer flat. So I'm going to surface plane this flat, and then I'm going to turn it over and flatten the other side so that the top and bottom are parallel. And then once I have that, I can lay out the project that we're going to do on it. Okay, I got it set up. I set my stop and I've got it set so I'm not taking off very much material. I'm just going to the lowest point and it'll flatten the whole top right out. Okay, I got the other side done. I turned it over and I'm just going to flatten this side out real quick. And now both sides are parallel. I can lay out what I'm going to do with this piece of wood. Okay, so I came up with an idea on what to do with this. I don't know if you could see this, but what there's going to be two bowls on the top. There's going to be an arch connecting the two bowls, and there'll be a base. So there'll be actually be a one-piece unit when I'm all done. I've got several layout lines, and what I have to do on something like this, I have to find the center of each arc or circle or whatever it is, and I have to make a template for it to sit on, and I use these holes for center points. So I've got to make a couple different ones, and I'll have to attach it in a couple different times. One of the things when you make something like this, you have to think of the sequence, whether so you don't get ahead of yourself and you can't do the next part or get to the last part. So hopefully I'll get it right and we'll be able to see what this comes out to be. Okay, I'm ready to get started on it. I drilled a center hole on the top side, and this lines up with the center of my base. So what I'm going to do is use that for a pivot point and cut the base for right now. I've got a 1/4 inch pin right here that's going to set in here, and this will give me my pivot point for that. I also have the table locked from going front to back. It just goes side to side, and that way I can adjust the size of my circle. So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta get it on that hole. Okay, now I got a pivot point and I can start cutting my circles. Okay, I went down to my line. That's as far as I want to go with that part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle the blade a little bit so I can actually make this base have a little bit of an angle before it reaches the support part of the Okay, now I got it set up to cut on the angle. I want to try to cut down until I hit this line right here. And okay, that's as far as I want to go on the base. Now I'm going to move to the next operation. Okay, what I want to do now is I drew some arcs up here and I used a center point which was right at the edge of the lumber. So I made a template down here. It's got a hole in it and I screwed it through from the back side. And basically what I want to do is mark it with a few cuts, the arch that I'm going to put in there. And then I'm going to take it to the bandsaw and remove a lot of it. Well, I can take it away from with the router bit, but it's slow and it'd be a lot faster to get some of the major material out of the way. But anyway, I'm going to do the outside and then mark the inside a little bit, and then take it over to the bandsaw. Okay, now by having these marks, I can cut a lot of this out with the bandsaw. And be cutting this out and this over here. That will save me a lot of work with the router bit itself. Okay, I want to remove some of this material out of here because I'm basically going to have a beam going up either side. So I'm going to remove some out of the middle and flip it over and take the same amount out. I've got the stop set up, so I come to that line
and this line right here, so that way I'll be fairly accurate. And I also have my depth stop set, so when I turn it over, it's going to be the same depth that I cut out.
Put it back on this plywood template with the center pivot right at this point here, so I can start working back in here again. I'm going to start shaping this up again a little bit more.
Okay, now I'm going to set up to do the inner part. I've already got the stop set up. Let me start cutting away at that.
Okay, now what I want to do is I cleaned things up a little bit. I had to make another cut to smooth things out a little bit. But I'm going to take a little bit out of the middle here to give it a little more definition instead of having such a wide piece on here. This is going to take a couple steps to get all this out of here, but I'm just going to take about an inch and a half or inch and a quarter space out of here, and let's see how it goes.
Okay, I tilted the head, and what I want to try to do is plunge in and take out some more of this material so that I have be able to see through to the center part of it. But it's going to take a little bit of finesse. I'm just going to keep plunging in and out, and then I have my stop set so that I can't go past either way this way, so it should come out fairly smooth. Okay, I got it down pretty good. I'm going to have to do a little handwork once I get everything out of there, but I pretty much took out what I wanted to take out. I'll do the other side, then we'll go to the next step.
Okay, it's starting to take shape. I took the bandsaw and I cut this section out of the middle now, and now I'm going to cut the dishes on the top. I'm going to cut both the outsides first. What I did is the center point on this bowl here and here is transferred down to a hole in this piece of plywood that this is mounted to. So I'm right over the center of that, and I'll be able to turn that down to get the shape I need, and then move it over to this other hole and match the same size hole. But anyway, let's give it a try.
Okay, I kind of fast forwarded it a little bit because it's a little bit slow to watch. But this side is done. I'm just going to switch over to the other pivot here and do the other side. And once that's done, I will come back and I will hollow out the insides of the dish.
Okay, I got this other side hollowed out. I'm going to do this side now. While I did this, I got my stops and everything set so that I can go through this side a little faster. Okay, so I finished it up on the router mill. I've gone pretty much as far as I can go on that. Right now I've got a lot of sanding to do. I've done a little bit, but that kind of shows you what kind of stuff you can do on it. You know, I don't know of any other machine that you could do something like this with. But it was a lot of fun. Now I got my work cut out for me as far as sanding it and getting a finish on it.